It is then that you turn to these words of David. David, through his own experience, give us God-honoring words to work through the trouble of a difficult day. In the first two verses of this psalm, David laments, Lord, how they have increased that trouble me. Many are they which say of my soul, there is no help for him in God. David is, in fact, in trouble as he writes these words, because the background of this psalm is recorded for us in 2 Samuel chapters 15 through 18. And David's personal problems bleed over into his public life. He's got some problems at home that affect his work and role as the king of Israel. 2 Samuel records that David's son Amnon rapes his sister Tamar. And when this vile violation goes unaddressed by David for more than 2 years, David's son Absalom, Amnon's brother, decides to take matters into his own hand. He decides to avenge his sister of this vile act from their half-brother Amnon. And when the dust settles, Absalom has killed his brother Amnon because he raped his sister Tamar. Absalom runs as a fugitive for about 3 years. And David decides to invite him back into the compound there in Jerusalem. But when he returns, this reconciliation is partial and painful, because for 2 years, David refuses to allow Absalom to even behold his face. Absalom becomes so enraged, so embittered by what he seems as a slight from his father, that he decides to get back at his father by leading a rebellion. And for 4 years, while David was addressing the affairs of state, his son was at Hebron, stealing away the hearts of the people from his own father. Like a smooth-talking narcissist, every scheming word, every cunning word was suggesting that Absalom would be a great replacement for the aging and out-of-touch David. Can't you see Absalom at the gate, greeting all those who come to Hebron for some sort of reprieve or justice, saying, if I were in charge, you'll have someone who is concerned about your well-being. Absalom, with his sly, cunning smile, there snickering and smiling in the faces of the people of God. And wouldn't you know it, he steals away the heart of the men of Israel. And when David turns, he now has over 20,000 trained soldiers that were once under his command, have now defected and are now following his rebel son. Can't you see David fleeing from Jerusalem, from his own son, leading a revolt against his own father with 20,000 trained soldiers looking for him to take him out? But it gets worse, because we discover through reading 2 Samuel that David had a former best friend, a counselor and advisor, a brother named Ahithophel. Now, this was David's road dog. This was his ace boon coon. This was his ride or die best friend for life. And his former best friend has now defected and has joined in with his rebel-like son, leading a revolt against King David. David's got some real trouble because he's got trouble at home. He's got trouble now from the house that has bled out into his public life. His daughter has been raped. His son has been killed. His son, Absalom, is now leading a revolt against his father. His former best friend and counselor and advisor has turned on him, and to make matters worse, David says it's so bad that his enemies are saying his circumstances are so dire that not even God can help him out of it. We see that in 2 Samuel 16. There's a brother named Shimei, and Shimei picks up stones and throws stones at David and calls David a bloody man and curses David and tells David, it's your own fault what you're going through, and nobody feels sorry for you. David, it's because of your failed leadership at home that now your son is leading a revolt against you. But Shimei makes some bold claims that are untrue for any child of God, because he makes that claim that not even God can help you out of it. Can I tell you, church, that's the delusion of the enemy, because the enemy wants you to think that your problems and troubles are so bad that not even God can help you out of it. But they used to say down in Louisiana, the devil is a liar, because there isn't anything too hard for God. And I believe I'm looking in the faces of some children of God this morning that your troubles are surrounding you. Your trials are mounting up against you. Your enemies are taking numbers in line, ready to pounce on you. And hell wants you to think that your troubles are so severe that not even God can help you out of it. But if you got a problem, God is the problem solver. If you have a sickness, God is still a healer. If you have burdens, he's still a heavy load sharer. If you are in the midst of darkness, he's still the light of the world. If you are in the throes of pain and suffering and trials, I dare you this morning to lift your eyes to the hills, from whence come your help, because all of your help comes from the Lord. I love this lament psalm because David is clear about who to go to when he's in trouble. He says, Lord, how they increase that trouble me. Many all day would say of my soul that there is no help for him in God. But David Church is talking to the right source about his trouble. Can I give you some advice that just may add 6 months to your life? Stop talking to the wrong people and start talking to the right source. Stop putting all your business on Facebook and get down on your knees and have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about your trouble. He will hear your faintest cry. He will answer by and by. Every now and then you ought to feel the little prayer wheel turning. You ought to know there's the fire burning, and just a little talk with Jesus will make everything all right. Or you ought not sit there and act like you don't know what I'm talking about, because I came to church this morning to testify. I've had many trials. I've had many tests. I've had many tribulations. I've had many temptations. But through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. Through it all, I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend on his word. And if I never had a problem, how would I know God can solve them? How would I know what faith in his word can do? So through it all, David's got some troubles. But not only does David have some troubles, David's got some trust. Because in verse 3, David says, I know what my enemies are saying. I know the claims that my enemies are after. They are after my God claim. They're after the faith claims that I've made about God. They've heard me testifying that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came against me to eat of my flesh, they stumbled and they fell. They've heard me testifying, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. They've heard me say, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. They've heard me saying, I've been young and now I'm old, and still I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. They've heard me saying, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver him out of them all. They've heard me saying that the Lord is close to those who have a broken heart, and he saved those who are crushed in their spirit. They've heard me saying that I would have fainted unless I believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. They've heard me saying, wait on the Lord and be of good cheer. Again, I say, wait on the Lord. Well, what are you going to do, David, now when your city is in trouble and your friends are against you and your son is leading a revolt against you and your daughter has been violated and nobody trusts your leadership and nobody trusts your command and your poll numbers are down and the stock is down on your value? David says, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift mine eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help, because all of my help comes from the Lord. Can I tell you, child of God, it's easy to trust God when everything's going your way. It's easy to trust God when your bills are taken care of and you've got money left over to play with. It's easy to trust in God when things are well in your marriage and your family is doing fine. It's easy to trust in God when you got a clean bill of health and there's nothing wrong in your background. But can you, like Job, declare in the furnace of affliction, I know in whom I have believed, and I know that he's able to keep what I've committed unto him. David says, but you, O Lord, are a shield for me. You are my glory and the lifter of my head. I love that, church. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me. I know what my enemies are saying, but you, O Lord, are a shield for me. It's dark in my life right now, but you, O Lord, are a shield for me. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but you, O Lord, are a shield for me. I don't know how I'm going to raise these children with the government shut down, but you, oh Lord, are a shield for me. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills, but you, oh Lord, are a shield for me. Can I tell you why that shouts me? Because David calls God his shield of protection. This word for shield is not the handheld shield that a soldier uses during hand-to-hand combat. But this shield that David described is really a body armor. It's a shield that's about the height of a door, about the width of a broad man's shoulders, which suggests that David says that God is not just my partial defense. God got me from head to toe. Oh, you don't know when to shout, church. Because I believe I'm looking at some people who can testify, preacher, there have been some times when the enemy has shot arrows in my direction. And the only reason why I'm still here is because God has gotten between me and the enemy's arrows. And God has been my total defense. God has been my total protection. The enemy had a plan to kill me, I know. But God intercepted his plans and told the devil no. God blocked it. He wouldn't let it be so. The only reason why you still got a smile on your face is because God blocked it. So that no weapon formed against you will not be able to prosper. Now, it doesn't mean that the weapons will not form. Yes, they're going to form. But when the enemy comes in like a flood, God will raise up a standard against the enemy. And the enemy may come in one way, but he'll find 7 different ways to have to flee from you. It ain't because you keeping yourself. It ain't because you're always so strong and tough. It ain't because you fight so well. It's because you got a God who covers you from your head down to your toes. And can I tell you, church, if God be for us, what difference does it make? What demon, what devil, what man, what woman, what boy, what girl can be against us? God is my shield. But not only that, God is also my glory. That word glory in the Hebrew is doxa. That word doxa, glory, means weight or significance. And David is very clear that God is the source of the significance of who he is. I love that because David had failed in his background. He had failed as a king. He couldn't find significance in his kingship. He had failed as a father. He couldn't find significance in his resume as a father. He had failed as a man because this same David had another man killed after having an affair with that man's wife and impregnating her. And by all accounts, David could not find any significance in his life or his leadership. But when you can't find significance in any other area of your life or your leadership, you need to find your significance in the Lord, because it is the Lord who gives your life meaning and value. If all of your significance is in your 401k, then your significance is vulnerable to an economy that's so unstable. If your significance is in relationships, when those relationships inevitably let you down, you'll lose all of your value and all of your meaning. But if your significance is in the Lord, come what may, from day to day, God will keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on him. Another variation of that word glory suggests also that God will make you look good even when you're in a bad season. Oh, I wish I had somebody who could get that. You know you've been through hell. Come on, let's talk honest. You know you've been through high water. You know the only reason why you look as well as you look right now is because God has been your glory. God has given you pick me up when life lets you down. God has given you peace like a river. Peace like a river down in your soul. God is my glory. But not only that, God is also the lifter of my head. God is the lifter of my head. When I was playing basketball in high school, my wife was a cheerleader for one of the rival schools in our parish down in South Louisiana. And incidentally, I always had my best game when we were playing my wife's school, because though she was in an opposing cheerleader uniform and I was in an opposing basketball uniform, I know her job was to cheer on her team on the sideline, but I didn't take it like that. The way I took it was that girl is on my sideline calling my name, telling me to be encouraged. That was the game. I got every loose ball, every extra rebound. I blocked every shot I could. I ran up my stats in the scoring column because I had a personal cheerleader, though in an opposing uniform, on my sideline, telling me to be encouraged. After a while, I stopped looking at the scoreboard and I started looking to the sideline, because all the motivation I needed was in one person. Come see, child of God, I dare you to take your eyes off of the scoreboard of life and look to the sideline of life and see that you got your own personal cheerleader on the sideline telling you to be encouraged. And this person is not in an opposing uniform. This person is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. This person is the Rock of Ages, the stone that the builders rejected, telling you it's going to be all right. Telling you don't wait till the battle is over, but shout right now. And somebody here can testify that when I feel like giving up, when I feel discouraged and I feel that my work is in vain, then the Holy Spirit comes and revives my soul again, because God lifts up my head. I'm done now. That's David's trouble. That's David's trust. But David has a testimony. David says, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell God about it. David says, I'm going to tell God about it. I'm going to cry out to him. Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thyself from me, whither shall I go? David tells God about it. And David says after his talk with God, he went to sleep. He went to sleep with 20,000 trained soldiers looking for him, trying to take him out. And you can't sleep because you got one subliminal message on Facebook from somebody you've never even met in person. Man, if you don't go home and get in your bed and turn your pillow to the cold side of the pillow and pull your covers up around your neck and go to sleep, because it don't make sense for you to be up stressing and tossing and turning when you got a God who neither slumbers nor sleep. So I dare you this morning to stop telling God about how great your problems are and start telling your problems about how great your God is, and go to sleep knowing that God's going to take care of you. I cried to the Lord and he heard me. And David says he sustained me. I went to sleep, but I woke up the next morning because the Lord sustained me. And as a result of that, David says, I will not be afraid of the 10,000s of enemies who've set themselves against me all around. When you know who God is, when you've seen God work in your background, because you have a proven track record of God's faithfulness yesterday, you may not know what tomorrow holds, but you know who holds tomorrow. My 3-year-old son, Amari, is sort of whiny. He is sort of whiny. And I can't blame him because he got it honest. He didn't get it from his mama. He didn't get it from his other siblings. He didn't get it from his grandparents, but he got it from somebody. He's sort of whiny. And when he doesn't get his way, he throws tantrums. He's going to mess up everybody's day because he didn't get his way. And he got it honest. And his mother says to him a few weeks ago, Amari, you're too big for that. Use your words and stop all that crying. She says, Amari, you cry about everything when you've got words that you can use to express yourself instead of all that crying. I just stopped in here this morning to tell somebody, you're too big for that. You're too big to be throwing all these tantrums and all that pouting and all that fussing and cussing and falling out and tripping. Use your words. You got some words. Use your words. If God be for us, who can be against us? Use your words. Is there anybody here who's got some words this morning? If you got some words, use your word. You ought to open up the word, download and deposit the word, so that when the trials come in your life, you've got something to stand on. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Use your words. Is there anybody here who's got some words? If you got some words, use your words. I will trust in the Lord. For those who trust in the Lord shall be like Mount Zion. They shall be like a city that cannot be removed, but abides forever. Use your words. Is there anybody here who's got some words? If you got some words, use your words. Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. And church, can I tell you, the real value of a testimony is not simply that you tell others about what God is able to do and what God has done, but the value of a testimony is that every now and then you need to remind yourself. You need to tell yourself, God is able to see me through this. I don't know what problems you have this morning, but can I tell you, whatever the problem, he's able to solve them. Can you help me close this morning and testify that that problem that I had, I couldn't seem to solve? I tried and I tried, and I kept getting deeper involved. But when I turned it over to the Lord and I stopped worrying about it, then the Lord worked it out. Is there anybody here who can help me close this morning and testify? I put it all in his hands. I put this and that. I put this and that. I put it all in his hands. And here I am this morning. I'm unaware of how it's going to work out for me. I don't know how it's going to turn out on tomorrow, but I'm going to stand on the promises of God, because he's not a man that he should lie. If God said it, then that settles it. So what are you going to do in the meantime? In the meantime, I'm not going to wait till the battle is over, but I'm going to lift my hands. I'm going to shout with the voice of triumph, because I know who my God is. I know what he's able to do. If you've ever tried him, then you can testify. He may not come when you want him to come, but if you hold on, he'll show up right on time. Is there any witnesses here who can look back over your life and think things over? And when you think it all over, you can testify he's able to handle that. Whatever you're going through, can I leave you with this? This too shall pass. It doesn't matter how dark the night. It doesn't matter how long the day. I got a feeling everything is going to be all right. Here is how I know it's going to be all right. Because one Friday on a hill called Calvary, it didn't look so good. They hung him high and stretched him wide. It didn't look so good. When he died out on Calvary, it didn't look so good. But I got good news for you. Early Sunday morning, he got up from the grave. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all of my fears, they are gone. So shout with me one time. Your trouble cannot last. Your trials cannot last. Your suffering cannot last. Your sickness cannot last. Tell him all about your trouble. Tell him all about your trials. Tell him all about your pain. Won't he work it out? Won't he make a way? Won't he pick you up? Won't he turn it around? If you know he will, shout yes. Shout yes. Shout yes.